catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the fun.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Justin
and MaHogany
YouTube channel, guys. Listen, do us a big favor, hit the subscribe button.
and turn on the post notification bell.
And when you do, make sure you comment down below so that we can shout you out at the end of the video. You heard me? Y'all, also make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, y'all. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. All
Yes.
at Justin and MaHogany. So make sure you guys give us a follow. Make sure you give us a like.
Y'all, anyway, we wanted to get on video today to give you some, because we received some bad news. But before we jump into our bad news, I wanted to talk about bad news, period. Because what do you do? I know we're only not even our second month into the year, and some of us probably have received some bad news. And we received some news that we did not want to hear. And my question is, how do you handle bad news? When you receive bad news, do you shut down? Do you, know how you're feeling? I've came to a point so far in my life, and Holly's gonna jump in and share how she feels. But I came to a point where when I receive bad news, I have a peace now that I know God's gonna work it out. When I receive the news, I know that when I receive it, I'm just receiving it, but God already knew. And that means God always working on my behalf. So it's just catching up with me, but God's been working. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. God just gives me a peace, that knowing that he's going to work it out. Yeah.
And I mean, I know when it comes to me, I've just, especially over the past few years, always been like a solution-oriented person. So a lot of times when I'm presented with like some kind of bad news, and excuse my hair, y'all got hair from me tomorrow. But anytime I'm presented with some kind of bad news, I'm always looking for a solution. I'm a very solution-oriented person. You know, if this person doesn't work, if this bill doesn't go through, if just this way of doing something does not work, what is the solution? Or in this instance, if I receive bad news, what is the solution? You know, how can we fix this? And so I think that's just always been my approach. How can we fix this? You know, how can we move in a better direction? How can we reverse the issues at hand? I usually don't give myself much time to kind of dwell in the bad news. Because, yeah, either you can pray about it or you can complain about it. Like, it's no kind of in between. And then, let's be fair, like sometimes you complain a little bit and you pray. But I'm just saying, you literally can't just pick one. And you can't just complain and think things are gonna change. You literally have to just pray and pray. It's either or, what I mean. But I just, pray about it and literally come up with a solution. I mean, I guess some bad news is also out of your control. I guess what does that look like when it's not something that you can change? Like if somebody doesn't work out, say you have a deal that you were working on, say you did a plan or you have a business partner and they don't work out, okay, you can change that. But I guess what about bad news that you feel like is out of your control? Or do we ever have bad news that's truly out of our control?
I think all bad news to me sometimes, I guess it's out of your control. You can't fix some things, you know what I'm saying? So I think, I think there's a level of where you have to come into a place where you have to be.
I like what you said about the peace. That's the best way.
God can give me peace. That's when that's when you get to the age, you got to live a while long. When church folks said back in the day, they say a saying, they still say it today, but you got to live a little while long when you got to really understand when you've been through some stuff and you're going through. God, give me a peace that passes.
Yeah.
That passes. Not some understanding, not just some of what all understanding. It don't make sense even if I was to calculate it, but give me a peace that passes all understanding. And that's how I am, because I'm like, with the situation we receive, and sometimes I receive that news, I just have learned like, all right, God, what you doing? What you do? I need to tap. You know how people say that term, tap in. I need to tap in to see what God doing. Because I'm not upset with what you doing. You know what I'm saying? Well, how you gonna do it? You got to, when you receive bad news, you got to make the choice. Are you gonna sit there and live at the same spot, live in the same space where you receive the bad news, or are you gonna shift to the place where there can be a solution, where there's good news? Just because it didn't happen the way that you wanted to, just because the plans did not go accordingly, and things didn't happen? Are you going to live there with the bad news? Are you going to live there with the denial? Are you going to live there with what they told you? Or are you going to get up and move? We got to get out there receiving bad news. You ain't stuck. No, you ain't been knocked two. You ain't been knocked. You ain't took 2 steps forward to be knocked 15 back. No, baby. It just that's your story. But that ain't you ain't been delayed. You ain't been denied. God is shifting you, and that's when we get into the discussion too. What do we do when plans change? Because a lot of times, person once told me, I think it's so funny. If you want God to laugh, show him your plan. And God has shown me that one thing. God showed me that He's God. He changes my plans all the time, and I've learned at 27 that I've learned to adjust with His plan.
And it's different levels to it. I remember like maybe 3-4 years ago when plans would change. It might just be something as small as, hey, that vendor isn't going to work or that person isn't going to work. Now when plans change, sometimes it'll set you, not of course behind because God has His specific alignment, but it could change the course of your 8 months to a year, at this level of things. And so it is one of those things where you just gotta trust God in the process. It's where your faith comes in. Do you truly believe that God has knows the plans for you and that He directs them? And if so, if He changes them, you have to fall in line, like you were saying, because you know that this must be the plan. This is the plan. I had an idea,
what they say,
but this is the plan.
Fall in line. Fall in line. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta fall in line. You gotta get adjusted. And you gotta know everything gonna be okay. That's the problem. Is sometimes God will change our plan because we're too much in control of stuff. See, you always control. You a micromanager with God trying. You can't micromanage God. God is so big, and what God has for you is so big. You can't even afford to micromanage. You ain't even got the strength to micromanage God.
That's good.
And that's what you worried about because you don't got control. And I want to help somebody that's watching this video. This is the year that you ain't gonna have control. This ain't the year that you gonna be able to tell God what to do. God gonna tell you what to do. This ain't gonna be the year you're gonna be able to tell God to fall in line. God gonna tell you to fall in line. So bad news hurts. Oh God, it hurts. I mean, the news we receive, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Let me say it again. It hurts, y'all. So it's just like when you receive bad news, you just gotta keep the faith and just stay encouraged.
Yeah, like you said, that change of plans.
Yeah.
Bad news and change of plans, they just go in hand.
They go together real bad because when plans just change, that's bad news too. We gotta really truly understand God has not brought. He never said it was the road that we've traveled and the level of success that God's calling you to. He never said it would be easy. But one thing I know for sure that He did say, He said He'll never leave you. I know for sure that God has not brought me this far to leave me. He has not.
It's like that one Facebook post I saw one time, and it was like, when I look back and I saw only one pair of footprints in the sand, it wasn't mine, it was that God was carrying me. And it just shows you like that it's never just your footprints. Like if you look back and it's just one pair, it's God. Because He's carrying you. It's never you having to have walked alone. So that's powerful.
So I want to let you know God is carrying you. God is with you. God is fighting for you. God is your strength, and He's your hope for tomorrow. So just stay encouraged. But I know the bad news that we had received. Woo! Y'all, you talking about? I ain't even worried about because when I received, I already knew. Well, I didn't know, but y'all know one thing. I'll say this too, and you can agree. You can dive into this. One thing about my life, I can't speak for your life. I can't speak for your mammy's life, your grandma, your baby dad, baby mama. But one thing about my life, one thing for sure, two things for certain, is that God makes me uncomfortable to shift me. And one thing I've learned that when He's making me uncomfortable and something going on, because He wants me to shift. He wants me to level up. He wants me to get better. He wants me to go to the next dimension. So as y'all know, and I'm gonna dive in before we share news, but is that true? Like God making you uncomfortable?
For sure. I mean, I look back over every year, and it's always like God made us uncomfortable for like something big to place, or some overflow or some next level dimension happened. It was us being uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable got us in the right position to receive the next blessing.
It did.
For sure.
So sometimes when certain things happen in your life, you think it's bad news. But sometimes I want to encourage you, it's God making you uncomfortable. Because God is a God that he knows that if he doesn't bring, sometimes his chaos is a blessing. His uproar and throwing tables is a blessing. Because God wants to uproot and God wants to do something new in your life. So I've learned that when things happen, I be like, that ain't nothing but God making room for the next. That ain't nothing God telling me to hurry up, because he know if I sit comfortable, I'm never going to do it. We experienced that moving to Georgia, because we won't come to Atlanta. Jackson, Atlanta, won't even thought about it. We won't come to Atlanta, start no YouTube channel. We won't. God used somebody else to get it. We thought we coming down here working for somebody else. And God said, nope. I caused all of that to happen because I knew that if you, and even when you got here, I caused everything to happen in sequence. Because I knew if you didn't move and I pushed you out of the place you were in, you would have never got here on your own, because you would have chose somewhere else and you would have starved there as well. God will uproot a lot of things in your life just to move things around for you, to push you into the destiny and the position and into the place he wants you. I'm a firm believer of that. So we've seen it numerous of times. We share all that to say this. I hope that's encouraged somebody that's watching, that's listening, that, for the season that you're in now. But one of the things that,
One of the things we received.
One of the bad news that we received, y'all, was about our vehicle. If y'all don't know, we've been whipping it, rental after rental.
Not because we want to, child.
Not because we want to, but because our truck, y'all know we took it to CarMax. That's where we got it from, and they were like, they
claimed they were waiting on a part for all this time that was coming in.
No, let's go a little further. They claim they diagnosed it. Turns out I waited 3 months. The part didn't come in. Then the guy tells me to take it down at a Ford. Take it down to the Ford dealership. I took it to the only reason I took it to CarMax, and y'all probably like, why you take it to CarMax? We got it from CarMax. Plus CarMax has this thing that whatever broke, you pay a deductible, and then they gonna take care of the rest. The plan that we got. And so I take them, let them do work. So he said, finally just get it towed down to the Ford dealership. So we take it to the Ford dealership. The guy, I'm kind of happy at this point, even though I waited 3 months, kind of happy that Ford's getting, because then Ford can really tell me what the issue is. So we get a call. I call him back, never heard from him. He supposed to call me Tuesday following week. The truck went on a Saturday. He supposed to call me Tuesday. I didn't hear from him until Thursday. I had to call him. You know you got to call these people. And he said, Mr. Jack, he said, the transmission. He said, he didn't even say he said, it's the transmission. I said, Jesus. He said, something happened in the metal, some metal then got up in the transmission. I said, I knew it probably was, because I said it got to the point, y'all, the reason I stopped driving the truck is because it got to the point, it won't even trying to go and drive, and it won't even trying to reverse. So I was like, I'm not about to drive this. Nah. You ain't gonna have me on 85, 75, 285 trying. Dangerous. So he said it's some metal, so they gonna we have a warranty on it, praise God. He didn't know, which I'm gonna call, make some phone call, but he didn't know if it covered him. I'm pretty sure it covers the transmission. So I don't know at this point if they're going to what they're going to do. If we get a new vehicle, or they fix the transmission. I don't care if they fix it, I'm still getting rid of it. Praise the Lord. I don't know what they're gonna do. But we at this point we're gonna do what we gotta do to fix that vehicle, to give us another vehicle. But that was God showing when I knew it was happening. We had been talking about
getting a new vehicle. Getting
new vehicles. Cause we've been together so long, we haven't had our his and her car.
Yeah.
Ain't that insane?
I know, it's crazy to think
7 years.
That is crazy to think
We've been there. That tells you how much we go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like we always together.
Yes. Yeah.
Like 7
It's
years,
like
you
crazy.
haven't had a car. Cause when we first got, she had her car. I had a car.
Then your car got in an accident.
My car got in an accident. Yeah, and then we had to buy a car.
Mm-hmm.
So we ain't had but one car. This whole.
My car got.
Yeah.
What happened to my green car?
I think you gave it back to your mom. It was already running down and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was in 1994.
Yeah,
it was
y'all.
in 2016. It was like,
Yeah,
oh.
it won't no need to even keep nigga. That we would have had all kinds of problems.
Mm-hmm.
But we drove it until we got our Volkswagen.
Yeah. And that was a car, and then that's the car we had, and yeah, we always just had a we always shared a car.
One car. Can you believe that? So we are because so we already know that the season that we're walking in, we're gonna get 2 vehicles this year. We not believing God, we know it's already done. And whatever that Ford is gonna do, listen, pay it off. Give it. Listen, I don't care. God pay it off. God, whatever God tell me to do with it, God want us to bless somebody with, but it ain't gonna be up in here. Cause y'all, but we already know God has been telling us to get some new vehicles. So, you know, we're gonna get things in alignment, and God is getting things together so we can get 2 brand new vehicles. But we did get an update about our little Ford Explorer.
Man, I'm so sad.
Started with us on YouTube. We've been everywhere in that truck. And now the transmission is gone, y'all. So if they fix it, they fix it. But I don't care what they do. We're going to get rid of it. But I was saying, not saying, I was kind of like, okay. Because I'm in that season like, okay, all right. Where did Escalade with my name on it? Mm-hmm. Because what Tasha Cobb said, it already got my name on it. It's already got my name on it. Listen, so, you know, her Tesla, well, she's between cars.
Now I want a Tesla now. Them Tesla's fire.
You want the Tesla model, the car, or the truck?
The car. You keep saying the truck. I don't want that truck. I want a car.
I'm talking about the Tesla truck. You want the Tesla truck or you want the Tesla? Because the black, have you seen the black too? The truck one with the white?
No.
That look good. You better go test drive both of them.
Okay.
The car's nice, don't get me wrong. But the truck, to me, I'm a bigger, more space person. Because you know the truck got the doors that go up.
Oh, wait.
Because you can get the same thing, black color with white interior.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So I think, I want her to see the truck before
Let
she
me see the
decides.
truck before I decide.
Because I think she's going to like the truck. The car, I didn't mind the car. Car was very low to the ground. It was lower than the car we went down, but it was very low. But the Tesla truck off the chain too. You can get that all black.
I need that Tesla truck then. I ain't never seen it, so I gotta look at it.
So
I know whatever I get, I'm getting black.
got that right. Yeah. So y'all, I'm not even worried about it. I just want to come on here and encourage y'all about that. Like it's gonna be all. You gonna be all right. Mm-hmm. You gonna be. Listen. You worried. You know, somebody said the other day. They said my brakes went out, and I'm worrying about it. Warranty, God got you covered. Mm-hmm. If they don't fix them brakes, God gonna give you. I mean, your warranty don't cover them brakes. God still gonna give you the money to get them brakes fixed. So stop worrying. Pray more, and God got you. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's our bad news, and the point of I want to make. Just because it's bad news, I ain't gonna live. That God, listen, the devil wanted me to live, and I said, I looked at the enemy in his eye. Listen, I said, you won't have me upset because I know that I know that I know. Listen, when that truck went down, I hopped right on into another. Listen, and I'm like, God, I ain't got money to make 2 payments, you know.
Making 2
payments. And the one I'm renting costs more because it's not you basically leasing it. But what I'm gonna tell you, but God makes room, and God's showing me if you can make 2, that means in the season I'm coming, you coming in, you gonna have 2 cars. So why should I receive bad news? Cause He's showing me I'm already. You got the budget for it. Man, now let's get in position for it. You see what I'm saying? Y'all hear what I'm saying? So
that's good, cause I didn't know I had that budget, but
didn't know I had it. But he'll do a what? A ram in the bush. That He would. You know, come out. You be like, where did money go? Where that little large money go? Listen, but that's how God do. But anyway, guys, listen. We're gonna be all right. You gonna be all right. Listen, we're ready to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go watch every single video on this channel, guys. Play it on your TV while you're getting dressed, while you're going to bed. Play the Justin and MaHogany YouTube channel, guys. Listen, as we always say, you don't got to get up off this here channel, but go watch another video. Listen, I'm your boy Justin.
Go watch another video on this channel.
Go watch another video on this channel, on this here channel. Listen, don't try to click out, go watch something else. And listen, I speak guilt over you right now. As you try to leave this channel and go watch something I pray that as you watching the next, try to go watch somebody else's channel in the next 5 minutes. I pray that God continue to go back over. Y'all go watch another video on this YouTube channel. We love you guys so much. I'm your boy Justin.
And I'm MaHogany.
Guys, do us a big favor. Hit the subscribe button.
Turn the post notification bell.
Today's shout out notification winners goes to boom, 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 boom. Thanks for being the true supporters that you are. Guys, remember, if you keep it locked,
We're going to show y'all how to keep it like this.
till next time, we out of here.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a 2-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the fun.